Hello everyone, this is Professor Reimer. This video is entitled Unit 4, DOL 1, The Silk Road. It is for my world history students on Monday, November 30th and Tuesday, December 1st. Our objective is to analyze the impact of the early trade routes, known as the Silk Road, in spreading ideas and goods across cultures and regions by writing a thesis statement and one body paragraph. All right, as we always do, let's begin with a preview. Let me get myself out of the way here. All right, so it's a little bit different. I want you to think about what's happening with the spread of COVID-19. How has the interconnectedness of today's world helped spread COVID-19? Pause the video, answer that now. Okay, the reason I asked you that is because we're going to look today at how the world was becoming much more interconnected in an earlier time, the time of the Silk Road, and it played a key role. The Silk Road played a key role in spreading disease back then, especially the bubonic plague. And so, as you're going to watch in this video, you're going to see some very clear connections. But remember our objective. Our objective is looking at the spread of ideas and goods. So the spread of diseases is not in that objective, but I did want to point that out. So the engage part, the instruction part today, I am shipping it off to a much funnier, nerdy white guy, and that is John Green. So pause this video, open up this other video called Crash Course World History number 9, The Silk Road. Also, I've included a viewing guide in the lesson for you to follow along. It is not word for word. I wanted to condense it. It's just bullets of the major portions. So do that now. All right. The reason I wanted to hand off the direction to John Green is because I wanted to focus on our writing today and how to become better writers. Remember, that has been a key focus all throughout this course. So, nope. There we go. So let's remember our prompt. To what extent? Because you're writing one thesis statement and one body paragraph in response to this prompt. To what extent did the early trade routes known as the Silk Road play a role in spreading ideas and goods across cultures and regions? Now, I want to point out this is a slightly different prompt than I had you write thesis statements back in the classical unit. It's to what extent. I'm looking for you to imagine a timeline, if not a timeline, number line, right? Of over here, wow, completely 100% played a role to not at all. Most of these answers you're going to respond with is going to be somewhere in the middle, whether it was significant or not really significant. Notice though, you need to include this adverb when you're looking at this kind of a question. To what extent? You're making a judgment, like teachers make judgments, like I'm going to judge your writing. You need to make a judgment by including a key adverb. I've added it right here, significant. So here's a model thesis for you to use. The early trade routes known as the Silk Road, I'm rephrasing, but that doesn't count, but it helps in being a good writer, played a significant, what kind of role, to what extent, what kind of role, a significant role. You got to add that kind of adverb in future when you're writing thesis statements. I've given it to you today because this is brand new. A significant role in spreading ideas and goods across cultures and regions by blank, blank, and blank. Now let's remember, we've written thesis statements before, but remember, thesis statements, what must they have? Historical argument. That's why that significant role is so important, because you're making an argument, but also must have a line of reasoning. It must have a map of where you are going in your essay. I've given you 3 blanks. Do you have to have 3 blanks? No. Do you have to have at least 1 blank? Yes. Otherwise, it's not a thesis statement. So 1's good, 2's better, 3's best. What I want you to do now, pause the video, go back to your viewing guide notes from the video on the Silk Road, and find at least 3, I bet you can do it, at least 3 ways that the Silk Road played a role, a significant role, in spreading ideas and goods. Only focus on ideas and goods and how the Silk Road spread those. So do that now. All right, welcome back. Now, let's talk about what makes a good intro paragraph. In our last unit, remember, we worked a lot on contextualization. So an intro paragraph equals a contextualization statement plus your thesis. So remember last time I gave you the thesis statements and I had you write contextualization statements. Now I flipped it. I want you to write thesis statements and I'll provide you with the contextualization statements. What's a contextualization statement? Remember, it's the background information necessary to help a reader understand the thesis statement and the topic of the essay. So here's mine. Early trade routes, known as the Silk Road, emerged in the last century BCE. These trade routes consisted of two main parts. One part connected the Eastern Mediterranean with Central Asia, and the second part linked Central Asia to East Asia. The Silk Road, however, also involved sea routes in the Mediterranean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. Thus, the Silk Road was not a road, but a network of trade routes that played a significant role in spreading ideas and goods across cultures and regions by blank, blank, and blank. So that last sentence, that's our thesis statement. It always goes last. And you're like, Mr. Reimer, where'd you get all that information? I got it from the video. I got it from my notes. Contextualization statements come from your historical knowledge, which you gain from a variety of sources, such as that video. Notice also what I did. The way I started the thesis statement was not quite the way I had it written on the previous slide. And that is because I wanted to have it flow nicely, right? Because ideally, you want the contextualization statement to just glide right into your thesis statement, because you're starting, think of it like a funnel. You got all of this information and it's swirling around until you get to the end of the funnel, the narrow part of the funnel, and out comes your thesis statement. And it should not get clogged, right? It should all spiral and flow. So sometimes you need to change a few words around in order to do that. So that's what I did there. So this is what makes a great intro paragraph to a historical essay. You contextualize your thesis statement, and then you write your thesis statement, which is an argument with lines of reasoning. All right. Also today, I want you to write a body paragraph. And we wrote these way back in, I think, the first unit. If not the first unit, the second unit. So what's a body paragraph? It's a topic sentence plus evidence. So where's your topic sentence come from? It comes from your thesis statement. So what I want you to do is choose one of your points from your thesis statement. Probably the one you're most comfortable with, or the one you know the most about. And that's what you want to do. So you're going to start your body paragraph with a topic sentence related to your thesis statement. I suggested starting like this. The early trade routes known as the Silk Road played a major role in something, some spread of some idea, some spread of some good. Whatever you choose, then the evidence that you use to back that position up must connect. So you're saying it played a major role in the spread of religion. Well, then you need to give me a religion that spread because of the Silk Road. You need to tell me where it spread. You need to tell me when it was spreading, right? How it was spreading. And you need at least two pieces of evidence. You need evidence number one, 2 to 3 sentences, and then evidence number two, 2 to 3. You have to explain this evidence. You can't just vomit up the evidence and say, all right, reader, this is my evidence. No, you have to explain to me how and why the evidence you are giving is supporting your point about the topic, the spread, or the Silk Road's role in spreading ideas and goods. All right, guys. I'll see you in the chat in our classroom meetings. Until next time.